Hello, Advanced Math kids. It's good to see you here this morning, or this afternoon, or evening, whenever you're watching this. This is the start of Chapter 12 and a section on conic sections. You notice there is no 12.0. I've included it because circle is included in what we call conic sections. We're going to cover why they're called conic or conic sections in 12.1 a little bit more. That already had some notes covering it. I don't want to add more to it. So this is probably one of your shortest assignments, probably the shortest. I think there's only 6 questions. We've done this before early on in the year, and so I'm just going to touch base on it pretty quickly, and hopefully that covers what we need with it. So a circle, remember the formula of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared if you move that square root over. This is derived from the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, if you think you have a circle right here, and the center is labeled h and k, and you have a point on the circle right there. Okay, this distance, called the radius, you can draw a right triangle there. So this point has the values x and y. It's a part of an equation, so x and y. So this length right there, if this is x, here's x, and here's h, and if you want to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane, you use subtraction. Subtraction is the difference. So that would be x minus h. So up here, this would be y. Down here, this would be k. So the height of this triangle would be y minus k. So that's kind of like the a, the b, and the c. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's where we get our formula from. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so that's where you get the standard form of the equation. If your center is 0, 0, if it's centered at the origin, you're just going to have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Okay? You have x minus h. You don't need to do anything with that. So write an equation for a circle whose center is at the origin. That means h equals 0 and k equals 0, and has a radius of 4 feet. So using this formula from up here, x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared. The only thing you can simplify is that. And again, you can just type that straight into Desmos and it'll give you a nice clean circle. Okay. So the point 3, 4 lies on a circle whose center is at negative 1, 2, as shown in figure P36. Write a standard form of the equation of this circle. So what we don't know is we don't know the radius. We don't know the r. But we do have an x and a y, an h and a k. So we need to find this height. Now you can draw the triangle if you want, but we're using the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x is 3 minus h minus a negative 1, so 3 minus negative 1 squared, that's 3 plus 1 squared, plus y minus k, so y is 4, k is 2, 4 minus 2 squared, that equals r squared. So this would be 4 squared, that's 16, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4, that equals r squared, so 20 equals r squared. So the radius is the square root of 20, but remember they want the equation, the standard form, and the standard form needs an r squared, not an r. So don't worry about finding the exact value of the radius unless they ask you for it. You need r squared. So your answer would be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 20. Okay, and again, you can graph that and see if, make sure that's your center, negative 1, 2, and make sure that point is on the circle. Okay, 3, 4. The bottom is just making sure if you subtract a negative, it becomes a plus sign. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, you know how to do that. Okay, so center at negative 1, 4, solution 0.28. Just a couple practice problems here. Number 2 at the bottom might be the only one, well, you may not remember too well. Okay, so center, that's h, k, point is x, y. So x, here's my formula, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x minus h. So 2 plus 1 squared plus 8 minus 4 squared equals r squared. So 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16 equals r squared, so that's going to be 25. So it's going to be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. Center at 4, 8. Tangent to the line y equals negative 2. I find it helpful to use some graph paper for these, because the distance from that center to that line is going to be the radius. So the radius is the distance from 4, 8 to y equals negative 2. Now if you notice, it's a y value, so you can use your y value to determine that. How far is it from 8 to negative 2? Your radius should be 10. Okay, but what we're checking here is 4, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 4, 8. And it's tangent to the line y equals negative 2. So y-intercept negative 2 is here. It's tangent to this line right here. So this is y equals negative 2. That means this right here has to be your radius. If it's tangent to a line that's horizontal and vertical, it makes it pretty easy. So 8 minus negative 2, the radius would indeed equal 10. So you'd have x minus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals 10 squared. That would be 100. So it has to equal 100, not 10, because it's r squared. Okay, the endpoints of the diameter are from 0, 0 to 6, 8. And again, you can find the length of the diameter, and then they cut it in half to find your radius, but you also need your center. The center is the midpoint of the diameter. So for your midpoint, you're going to add your x's divided by 2, 0 plus 6 divided by 2, and 0 plus 8 divided by 2. So you get 3 and 4. Okay, so your center is going to be at 3, 4. So if you have a point at 0, 0, and you have a center at 3, 4, can you guess what your radius is going to be? You've seen the 3 and the 4 before. So here's 0, 0, that's your center. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's your diameter. Okay, your circle is going around like that. There's your center at 3 and 4. So this is 3, this is 4, your radius has to be 5. So you're going to have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. Okay, find the center and radius. There will be some graphing. So x minus 3 squared, that means h is positive 3. There's just a y squared, so k is 0. So your center is at 3, 0. Your radius equals the square root of 20, which would be 2 root 5, or approximately 4.5. Okay, this is in the general form. This is when we have to do the blankety blanks and complete the squares. So I'm going to group my x's together and put blanks there. So I'm going to go x squared plus 6x plus blank. I'm going to put those together. Plus y squared plus 10y plus blank. So those two go together. The 5 I'm kicking over with another double blank. Minus 5 plus blank plus blank. Because I have 2 blanks on here, 2 blanks on there. We have to complete the square. Okay, we want to complete the square. So we take this 6, we cut in half, and then we square it. So half of 6 is 3, 3 squared equals 9. The 9 is going to go here, and it's also going to go here. So 9 and 9. We're going to do the same thing in the other block. Okay, we're going to take half of 10, that's 5. We're going to square it, we get 25, and that goes over here. So the right side we're going to simplify. So negative 5 plus 9 is 4. 4 plus 25 is 29. And the left side we have to factor. Now, if you factor correctly, the two numbers that multiply to 9 and add to 6 are going to be that halfway number. Okay, half that number is 3. Half that number is 5. So it should be x plus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 29. So you're factoring this part and this part. Okay, finding two numbers that multiply to 1, add to the other. We will see this some more coming up in our lessons. We're covering parabolas, ellipses, and hyperbolas over the next 3. Okay, so your center, okay, that's x plus 3, so it's going to be negative 3, negative 5. And your radius is the square root of 29, which is approximately probably 5.4. Square root 29, 5.4, not bad, 5.38. Okay? So, these are the 6 questions you have. Writing the equations, giving center and radius, center and solution point. There's another 3, 4, hint, hint. Endpoints of the diameter, and then writing the center and radius and graphing it. So when you graph it, click the circle tool, and you put a dot for the center, and then you can go out for the radius and draw your circle. Okay? Okay. Oh, that's it. All right. So good luck. Let me know what questions you have, and I'm going to see you soon later this morning. Talk to you later.